What's good? What's good? Good morning. Technically it's afternoon, but I woke up, about 9 a.m. I slept in. That was nice. And then I went and I did yoga. And now I am at the casino. I am going to see if I can take $150, run it up to 300 or 400, and then leave. I could also lose, $300 today. It's you win some, you lose some. I'm still very much in the learning phase of my pro blackjack career. So I found the perfect little spot. $5 minimum bet on weekdays. No construction work today. It's the perfect day to just go maybe win a few $100 or lose a few $100. Just getting okay with losing, it sucks. Oh, it sucks, but it's part of the game. And so it's been a really interesting growth and development exercise and activity for me, because in the moment when you have, like the other day, I had $200 on the table, two hands of 100, and that was the most I've ever bet. And I was like, wasn't stressed. It was weird. I was expecting to be stressed, but in the moment I was just like, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I'm slowly learning to embrace and embed Stoic philosophy, and it's been very helpful for me, because if you watch my old content, you will see a very angry and passionate, the anger stems from the passion, but you'll see a very angry man. And I even made videos. They're titled, "I Don't Want to Be This Angry," because I've been on this journey. It's been about a decade long, this particular part of my journey, growing past the anger and the outrage. The title of this video, Compartmentalizing the Outrage Cycle. Maybe it'll be compartmentalizing my outrage cycle, but I know a lot of people deal with this. It's intentional. It's designed. I often talk about the social engineers and the propagandists and how they manipulate the population. They intentionally divide the population. So a large portion of these culture war issues that are highlighted by the mainstream media that really get people, myself included, riled up, are in fact quite literally intended to do so. And I had this realization that while, yes, I need to be passionate, and I need to be awake, and I need to be informed, and I need to be aware, but I also need to be composed. I need to stop letting the outrage fire me up. It's tricky, though, for this very specific reason, is that I think a lot of normies or NPCs, a lot of the brainwashed, useful idiots, they also acknowledge that they need to not let the outrage cycle consume their soul. And so they are a lot better at sort of ignoring or numbing or allowing the desensitization to settle within them, so they don't care. They might be outraged for a little bit on some issues, but overall, the atrocities and the crimes against humanity that governments have been committing against peoples for generations, centuries, literally millennia, it seems that the average person just sort of normalizes it or is so numb to it that they don't care. And I used to, and I still do to an extent, but I used to get really worked up that A, these things were going on, and then B, that people don't seem to fucking care. And that has been, over the last decade, one of the hardest things for me personally to compartmentalize and to learn, is that A, this shit's not going away. Evil is going to continue to envelop our world for probably more than, I'm not going to outlive this current iteration of evil. It is our job. If you watch my videos and you hear me talk about building the new earth, it is our job to lay the foundation and the infrastructure for that new earth. We're not going to be able to appreciate all of it, but we are going to be able to appreciate certain elements of it. Certain literal physical elements are going to be awesome. We are going to get better at reconnecting with nature, living more in alignment with the planet. Yeah, that's going to be part of our path. But the full fruits of sovereignty will not be experienced by us. However, there is a trade-off. We get the spiritual, the psychological benefit of virtue points. And while I criticize people who virtue signal, I still believe virtue is something that we should pursue, but not through our social media and our words, but through our actions and through our endeavors, through the way that we live our lives and the way that we advocate for improving the global condition, which entails fighting the elites, the ruling class, the oligarchs, whatever you want to call them. The sociopathic, psychopathic, pedophilic people who are controlling our planet at the current moment. And I know I'm going to grow. I know if you're watching this and you really invest in yourself, you are also going to grow. And me sharing these videos, even if only 12 people see them, but one of them benefits a little bit, I will feel so good about myself. And I'm so thankful that there are a few people. Mongoose, shout out to you. I appreciate you. I really do. I've never met you. I don't know your first name, but I appreciate you. I think about you. Like when I'm just in my day, I'm like, I wonder what Mongoose would think about this. I hope maybe one day we can do a chat on my channel, or if you want to be anonymous, maybe we meet someday. You talk about coming to Seattle, you should do it. Do it during the spring or summer. Do not come to Seattle during the winter. But so I share these videos in hopes of contributing in the little way that I can. I have very little in material goods to share at the current moment, but I feel like I have a lot of immaterial or sort of intangible, psychic, philosophical, intellectual goods to share with people. And that's what I want to do. And also, using those goods, it's part of my journey and sharing my journey. So seeing other people do something that you thought was impossible makes it easier for you to believe it is possible. I'll just bring up the 4-minute mile real quick. For the longest time, people just didn't believe the 4-minute mile was possible, running a mile in under 4 minutes. And then as soon as the first person did it, very shortly after that, a whole bunch of other people did it. And we can look at personal, spiritual, psychological growth. If you've never witnessed healthy, like a healthy, content, fulfilled, satisfied person living in alignment with the planet, with the universe, it can be hard to even figure out how you should model your own behavior. And I'm not saying I am a role model overall. I think I have a long ways to go, but I do think particularly me addressing my anger issues could be really helpful and beneficial for a lot of young men who also see how broken and how corrupt our world is, and they don't know what to do about it. I still don't fully know what to do about it, but I can tell you that whatever the actual action plan for your life entails, it needs to include mental action plans. So you need to learn to transmute these crazy emotions that you feel. Transmute or alchemize, that's the word I like to use. You need to learn to alchemize your anger. So changing your anger, not numbing it. That's the thing is I think a lot of people, in suppressing the darkness of the world, they numb themselves and they ignore it, opposed to alchemizing it. And when you ignore it, it's still there, and you're just continually pushing it down and pushing it down. And that's where like these darknesses and these addictions and mental disorders it's fertile ground for them to flourish. So if there's one thing I could encourage young men to explore, it's learning to alchemize your anger and turning that energy into something positive and contributing to building the new earth. And that's a really new, it's been around for decades, this concept of the new earth, but it's really hitting the mainstream now. And I think it's really important that concept become part of our primary mission. And so I'm bringing it into my content, as that is the prime directive right now, is building the new earth. And it's going to look different in terms of how each and every one of us contribute, because we all have different skills to contribute. But the key is, you should be contributing however you can, whether it's material, whether it's mental, whether it's both. Just look around you and ask, how can I contribute to this mission? If you want to. I think it's the right mission. I'm investing pretty much my whole life in it. I'm betting on myself. I'm at a casino, but like, pun intended, I'm betting on myself for the path that I'm on, and you should bet on yourself as well. This is the right path. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it together. Thank you very much for watching. I'm thankful to have this little outlet, even if only a few people see it. It's been an integral part of my journey, and I look forward to seeing how it can grow. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you care about building the new earth, it is on you to help raise awareness. And that's all. Thank you. Much love.